Hi guys, I'm here at the Borderline in London with the wonderful Miss Ashley McBryde. How you doing, Ashley?
I'm good. I'm really good.
It's good to see you.
It's good to be here. We're right at the end of the C2C thing, and
Oh, it's been a crazy weekend, hasn't it?
yeah, it was really busy, but I like it that way.
Yeah. Did you enjoy yourself at the festival? What did you make of the whole thing?
I've never really experienced anything like that. They told me before I came over that the fans were going to sing every word to every song, and I thought, well, okay, they probably maybe to this. No, every word to every song.
Yeah. Everybody I interview speaks about it like there's a real appreciation for the lyrics and the songwriting, and
Yeah.
people just seem to get it over here.
It's not that we don't always appreciate. Well, we don't always appreciate lyrics in the States, but here, if it's actually more important to the listener here to hear the lyrics. In fact, we did a Bluebird round at C2C, and Walker Hayes mentioned Shane McAnally. Now, Shane McAnally's not an artist, but everybody clapped because that's how important songwriting is.
Yeah.
Like, that's the celebrity.
Exactly. I mean, I've spoken to loads of people who were at the festival at the weekend, and so many people have said you were the highlight. Seriously.
That's very humbling and blowing me away a little bit. There were so many stages to play, and it was so much fun. It was all different, Indigo's like 1,800 people at stage and lights, and then All Bar One is very tightly packed, and a lot of people from the Indigo show came to that show, so I couldn't do the same songs. I liked that I had to kind of switch it up, and then to the Nylon stage was super cool. I mean, it was just elbow to elbow in there.
Yeah. I was at the Indigo show, and it was absolutely fabulous. Absolutely superb. You even had me in tears. It was incredible.
Like I say, I don't want to make you cry.
No,
but
that's a
if
good
I
thing.
do,
That's a
then-
good thing. Seriously, that's a good thing. It was amazing. But I was going to ask you, did it feel quite strange being introduced as a new artist? Because I know you're not really, are you?
At first, it was kind of weird to be a new artist, and I don't mind being called a new artist. The one that's not palatable to me is baby act. I haven't acted like a baby since I was a baby, and maybe a couple times a year when I get sick. But doing this for 11 years in bars, I'm not new to anybody who ever saw me, but to anyone who never heard me, I am. I'm brand new, so it's okay to be a new act.
Well, you're performing a lot of stuff from the new album that's coming out. It seems to go down really, really well at the festival. So tell us a little bit about that album and what that means to you, and just give us a bit of an overview.
This being the first full length on a major label, this is no matter what else you've put out before independently, this is what is going to put you in the yearbook of whatever class you're going to be in. And so I've had this whole life to live and write songs, and we had to be really careful choosing, and some of them really had to death match each other. We had to put them next to each other and go, they take up the same space, who's got the bigger punch, who has the more effect. And initially we had dropped one song from the record that I really thought was going to make it, and then at last minute we wound up putting it back because it turned out it did fit.
Wow. Is it quite a difficult process to cut? Because you must write so many songs on a daily basis. So is it quite difficult to cut it down to 11 or 12?
Oh yeah, when you start with like 50 and then you're just trying to get it to 30.
Yeah. They must be so special to you, mustn't they? So.
Yeah, it's like asking your parents which is their favorite kid. And we all have one that sticks out above the others. Like, well, this is the smart. You want the smart one, the pretty one, the loud one. Like, you have to choose those. It was easier knowing that John Peets and Jay Joyce were helping me with that process.
Yeah, I mean,
really to be objective.
Jay in particular is massively experienced, isn't he? So tell us what it's like to work with him in the studio and what he kind of adds to the whole project.
Jay Joyce is like a combination of Einstein, maybe Mark Twain, and Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
Nice.
And then like Mozart.
Nice.
He's just a genius, and his pedal board is the size of the room we're in right now.
Wow.
In fact, on one track, Southern Babylon, which is about a bar, but it's really where musicians go when they die. And I decided to play banjo on it. Never had played banjo before. And then Jay's like, no, let's plug it into my pedal board. Didn't even sound like a banjo by the time we got done with the track. It was really cool.
That's amazing. The song that made me fall in love with you was when I saw you do Girl Go Nowhere at the Opry. That video is just absolutely stunning. It gets me every time. Tell us about the whole experience of playing that at the Opry, because it's kind of about making the Opry debut, isn't it, in a way?
Yeah, and in fact, the day that we wrote it, what started that conversation to go down that direction was Jeremy Bussey said, have you played the Opry? And it was a year and a half before anyone at the Opry had ever heard my name. So I said, no, I haven't played it, but I will. And he said, I like the way you think. Let's write what you'd want to say on the Opry stage. And getting there, first of all, I knew you go through security and everything, and I'm probably going to have to explain that I'm playing tonight. And no, I walked up and they said, Miss McBryde, let's have your guitar. We'll check it for you. Please write this way. And I go to the desk to check in. I know I'm going to have to say my name. And I walk up and he says, Miss McBryde, you're in room 4. And room 4, you only get to use one time. You only go in that room on the night of your debut. and you go in and it's quotes from other artists on the wall
That's
on
pressure,
the
isn't
night
it?
of their
That's
debut.
pressure.
I'm looking at Alan Jackson's words and Darius Rucker's words and Taylor Swift's words. You're like on this wall going, I cannot believe I'm standing here. And then on the other side of that coin, I wouldn't have been standing in that room if the Opry hadn't invited me. So if I hadn't earned that inch or that mile, I wouldn't have been standing there.
Yeah, it was amazing because not many people get a standing ovation at the Opera as well, and you got that after Go Go Nowhere, didn't you?
Never am I more awkward than you see in that video when I'm crying and they're standing and they're hooting and hollering and like throwing hats in the air. Like in fact, it was my friend Blue that threw his hat. I didn't really know how to take it, so I just I keep a bandana in my pocket in case I cry or I'm actually kind of a sweaty person on stage, and I just grabbed it and spun it around. I didn't know what to do, and that kind of became a thing after that.
And tell us about A Little Dive Bar in Dahlonega as well, because that song's kind of taken on a life of its own, hasn't it? And country radio's starting to pick up on it. And
yeah, it has grown legs. We chose it as the first single to see how it did, and then on XM it did great, and then it hit terrestrial radio, and here it goes. It's running up the chart there, and it's not going to be an instant number one, which I would prefer. I prefer a slow climb.
that's usually the way with country radio nowadays. It takes ages to reach the top anyway, doesn't it?
Some of the things that it's done, though, beyond radio. I got a Snapchat one day from a lady who said, your song just saved my life. So I snapped back. What do you mean my song saved your life? She said, I was listening to Little Dive Bar in Dahlonega and an abusive ex called me and I didn't take the call because I was listening to the song. Of course we want radio success. We love our radio family, but that's real stuff.
Yeah, that's the power of music.
That impacted somebody. Yeah. And that's music is that big,
Now, tell us what it's like to be signed to a record label, because you've done years of not being signed and now being with Warner. I mean, that must be a huge step for you in terms of getting onto radio and the whole promo side of things.
I kind of thought that when you sign a record deal, they kind of go, okay, now let's change everything. And Warner didn't do that at all. We like what we see, we like what we hear, we want to help get it out there in front of everybody. The main difference now is I've been in control of everything. The hotel, I drive the vehicle. I'm just by myself or me and my dog, and now I don't drive the vehicle. Everybody else in the band drives and the TM drives, and I don't ever know where anything is or what time anything is. I have to just ask all the time, where are we headed? How many songs is it? And so our tour manager's name is Brandon, and I look at the back of his sneakers, his black and white sneakers, and my phone a lot. It's the only way to keep up with my family, is to, we're walking to the next thing right now. And without him, I would be completely lost. There's no way I would have been able to find the right train last night when we were on the tube.
Amazing. And obviously tonight you're doing your first headline show at the Borderline in the UK. Is this something you'd like to do a lot more often and keep coming back and headlining shows over here? Yeah,
I can't believe that I got to play a festival and a club like in the same trip.
You've gone one extreme to the other, haven't you? The O2 to the Borderline, really intimate and nice.
It's scary to play in an arena, but it's tough to play in a club. Because in an arena, whatever you've prepared is what's going to happen. And when you're in a tight space like this, you're going to have to read those people. And if you can't get them to go on that journey with you, if you miss it, it's a tough thing to do. But yeah, I want to come back and do it again. I'm ready to come back next week.
That's awesome. The couple of songs you did on the Spotlight stage, that must have been a very surreal experience to see everybody lighting up the phones and just getting involved.
Oh, I've never had that happen. Like now people are starting to sing along to the single, which is really humbling. But to see people's phone lights come up, I was like, whoa! I mean, that's used to be lighters. It's much safer now that we're doing iPhones.
Of course. So tell us when the album's coming out and where people can get it. When's it coming out?
On March 30th, Girl Going Nowhere comes out. And you can get it everywhere. You can get it on Spotify, you can get it on Amazon or iTunes, just wherever you get music, it'll be on there.
Very cool. We're looking forward to hearing it, Ashley, and thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time.
Yeah,
really appreciate it. And we'll catch up when you come back, hopefully.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.